This one is super important, and I mean seriously important if you live in an apartment. Today we're answering the question, I live in an apartment, I can't stockpile or prep, what am I supposed to do?
I was laughing.
Here's where we go. Okay, the first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna go check out our free How to Stockpile ebook and cookbook. It's all together, e-cookbook. In the description below, guys, we have a list of everything in there that you need. So there's your reference right there. People keep asking us for these lists. That's where it is in the description below. What do you do if you live in an apartment? Now, I currently live in a ridiculously large house. I have all the room I want to prep now. It's glorious.
Storage like you can't even imagine.
I have lived in a 300 square foot apartment, I've lived in a 400 square foot apartment, and I've lived in an 800 square foot house. So I know you don't always have the place, the room to prep in an apartment in a small house. So how do you do that?
You find every nook and cranny you can. Like, is your couch up above, on legs? Slide bags of rice under there or something like that. Canned goods can go under there. Like cans of tuna, stuff can go under there. You can
make furniture like end tables, stack up boxes of canned goods or bottled water and put a tablecloth over it and you have an end table.
And another thing is I was looking in like my closet, and a lot of people, like I have the 2 liters of bottled water, which if I stack them along the bottom of my closet, all this wall space is totally empty. And I'm thinking, well, I can't put anything on that empty wall space. But if I would take those 2-liter bottles and put in a cardboard box and close it up, I can stack another cardboard box and go up, and I will be able to use all that wall space in the back of my closet. That type of thing. In your kitchen sink, there's a lot of empty space that you don't want to have to dig things out of all the time.
From the very, very back.
Yeah, at the very, very back. Put things back in there under your bathroom sink that you can't, isn't really good usable space, that you can't reach stuff. Put things back in there. And think vertical too for a lot of this stuff. If you have one shelf up high in your closet, take and store your prepping stuff in that shelf, and once again put the things in the box, set another box.
Then once every 6 months go up and take
it out, and you have to redo it, but
rotate your stuff. You don't have to rotate every week.
No,
just rotate every 6 months or a year, or even 2 years if it's canned goods. You don't have to use it right away.
So think of
like one of my apartments when I lived in the mountains, I had this wall where I didn't have anything on it. Well, I could have put a table right there, put all of my canned goods underneath there with a nice tablecloth, and I would have had a desk.
Yeah.
But all my stuff could have been stored under there.
You could take and use like where your TV is, instead of a fancy cabinet, you could put the boxes up and set your TV on top of those boxes.
Or you could put your stuff in the cabinet if you have a cabinet. Do you have a garage? Like when I lived in the mountains, again, I had the garage underneath was my landlord's, but she let me use a little section of it. So I could use that. When my other apartment in the mountains, we had this room where the back of the mountain, the rocks were in that room. And water would come rushing down that room, so we couldn't use it. Well, it wasn't good for storing things that would, like rice and that kind of thing. But I could have stored canned goods up off the floor in there. I could have stored my water in there. My kerosene, my lamps, stuff like that. You could store things like that.
And one thing to think about when you're storing water out in a garage or places that it might be cold, fill those bottles of water up only like 3/4 full, because you leave room for expansion in case it freezes. And another thing, if you store your water in the 2-liter empty pop bottles, and you fill it up,
or 1-gallon bottles,
and it's filled up 3/4 of the way full, and it freezes, you've got the advantage because you can bring those into the house and they'll thaw quickly. A lot of people have lots of room and they do these big, huge barrels of water. Well, in the winter, if they freeze, they have to keep them outside and they freeze. And if you have a disaster in the winter and you've got these big, huge frozen barrels, you can't get them in the house. They're of no use to you. Where the 2 liters, if they are frozen, you can bring those in where you're keeping yourself warm, you know, to do.
All right, now this one is super important. And I mean seriously important if you live in an apartment. Make sure you have stoppers for all of your drains. And you're gonna be like, Tara, huh? Listen, if you live on the bottom floor of an apartment and the power goes out and the top floors are still flushing their toilets, you are gonna wanna make sure that your sinks and your toilets and everything is all stopped up so that that sewage doesn't back up into your house. And even then it could get to the point where the pressure blows those, but you know, do it if you can so that doesn't go back in there. So make sure you're prepared. If you are on the top floor of an apartment, make sure you have water or a way to get water. Now, we talk a lot about a rocket stove. People say, well, I live in an apartment. My manager would never allow a rocket stove. Let me tell you. Here's the thing. If it's an emergency, your little rocket stove out on the patio, nobody's going to really know.
No,
I mean, they'll notice, but it's not going to be that big a deal.
We're talking emergency situations, guys.
Here's the thing.
Everything changes.
Get this little, I'm doing a video on it. It's going to be coming up. Get a little cook stove. They have little cook stoves that are this big with little cans of alcohol that you burn. And get that little cook stove, and you can cook with that in an apartment. It's just like a candle. Also, if you have a rocket stove and it uses the twigs, and go outside to use it. You may take it downstairs and use it outside on the sidewalk or a patio or the terrace or whatever you have. Don't just say I can't do it.
Yeah,
figure out a way to do it. And I'll tell you, we kind of have put off doing this apartment video because it's like people use it as an excuse to just not be prepared at all.
You cannot depend. You've got to get this in your head. You're not going to be able to depend on anybody else to take care of you. You're going to have to do it yourself. And you need to start practicing now by prepping things. You know, if you can't even get practice and take care of yourself prepping something, when a real emergency happens, what are you going to do? So if it means getting a tent, let's say you have a 2-bedroom apartment, get a tent so that if it's cold, you can stay warm in that tent in your apartment. You're sheltered and it's okay. And sometimes apartments are even better for warmth, you know, than like Tara's big, huge house.
Because the warmth will come up from the bottom.
Especially if you're up high and if you have apartments all surrounding you and other places, you will stay warmer longer than if you have a big open house like what Tara has. So stop thinking of all the disadvantages that I can't do it because I'm in an apartment. Think of what are my advantages and what can I do to the best.
And one thing we forgot to mention, if you don't have, let's just say you just don't have any room at all to store water, get at least yourself a life straw. It's like $20, I think. I'll link it in the description below. But get a life straw so that you can go find water and then just drink it straight out of there and it filters everything out. Or keep a water filter. Keep a small water filter at your apartment. You can at least keep a water filter.
And know of water sources in your area.
Is there a pool? Is there a creek? Is there a pond? A lake? Any little thing like that you could get water if you needed to. Now, I get it. Everybody else is going to be getting water, but you know.
If you've got a creek or a pond or a lake, it'll supply a lot of people, you know. So. And another thing, if you have a small balcony on your back porch, you can store water. You can keep open pots of rain to catch rainwater or anything. Think of, do I have enough empty pots that I could maybe, if we did have a rain, I could store water out there. So,
and you can store a lot of foods out there. You could store rice and oatmeal and those kinds of things in plastic totes.
Plastic totes,
you could store a lot of things. And I know we keep talking about water, but water is the number one thing that you have to you have
you can
to
go
have.
30 days or more without food, but not water.
You hear, like when we had our floods in Colorado in 2013, if I lived in an apartment and I heard that the water treatment plant was getting ready to be compromised, I started filling everything I could with water. Pitchers, planters, crock pots, pans, bathtubs, sinks, every single thing you can fill with water, fill it up immediately the second you hear that there could be a water problem.
It may take a little work to do that, but I'd rather have that already prepared and then have to throw it out later or drain it out later, you know.
Yeah, than to not have water.
Have it, you know.
Yeah, definitely. So, guys, those are a few things if you're living in an apartment. Guys, another problem with apartment living is blackouts and losing power. We just did a video on what to do because blackouts are imminent, guys. Everybody is saying the grid could go down at any time. Please go check out that video. Blackout is imminent. It's in the description below. Visit us at livingonadime.com to get your free Stockpile cookbook, and we will see you guys next time.